And we're live. Welcome, everybody, to another spectacular Manga Collectors show here at the Omnibus Collectors Network. Gio here from A Week in Geekdom, and I am joined by my wonderful, lovely co-host, the Omnibus Collector himself. Ryley, how are you?
I am humbled to be here on this fine Thursday evening to talk about some shonen manga.
Hell yeah, or heck yeah, I don't know. We're excited to bring this episode because we did the what was it that we did? The New 52 ranking, and a lot of you suggested in the comments and in the chat that night that we should do one for the manga show. And I thought, hey, that's really cool. Let's do Shonen Jump ranking because all you manga weeps like us really like Shonen Jump, the magazine and the titles in that. So I thought it'd be pretty cool to rank them. Let me remind you, I'm using a new monitor, so I'm a little bit lost looking at stuff here. Let me remind you guys that you can find a good chunk of the manga that we're going to talk about tonight at InStockTrades.com, our wonderful, lovely sponsor. We thank them. We love them. InStock Trades, where you can get your collected editions and manga up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on an extra 2% to that. And if you order $50 or more in your collected editions order, you get free shipping. Yes, you heard me right, folks. Free shipping. You also get fantastic customer service and the best packaging everywhere, anywhere, all the time. That's InStockTrades.com. So we thank them for that. We got some people in the chat. That's awesome. And earlier, I opened this up for the chat earlier, and a lot of people were chiming in already, so that's exciting.
Nice.
Zach, it's not as popular in the West, but Gintama is number one for me. Nice. Gintama is lit. Canadian Invincible Comics. Much love to these handsome fellas. Thank you. Okay. Jesse. Okay, so Bleach is number one, right? We'll see. Hayden, tonight on another installment of Two Handsome Otaku Bros Rank Things. Yeah. All right. Paolo, where's the sensei of manga himself, Jess? He's actually doing a premiere right now for a video, and he's chatting it up with his fans. So I thought that was hilarious. But he knew that we were doing manga, so he wasn't going to be on. But it's pretty funny that he's live right now premiering a video of his. With that said, do you want to dive right in? Because we don't have a lot of time.
Sure. Yeah. Real quick, before we talk about the stuff, I'm just going to mention because this is something I've been kind of lightly browsing this past week. If you haven't seen this before, the best fan servicey Dragon Ball thing ever is the Dragon Ball Heroes anime. It's a promotional anime that was released for the games. And
the Heroes.
Yeah, it is like everything that you would hope for in the most fan servicey way. In the first few little mini episodes, because there's only like 8 minutes apiece, you get alternate universe Goku Super Saiyan 4 fighting against Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and then you get an evil Saiyan called Cumber, and then you get Cooler is back, and he can turn gold like Frieza now. So it's like, that's only a few episodes in, and I'm like, man, this is just fanboy heaven. Like, this is the type of stuff that I dreamed about whenever I was growing up, except we didn't have Gold Frieza and Super Saiyan Blue, but...
Exactly.
Yeah, so I recommend it. If you can find it online, it's streaming, not exactly legally in a lot of places, but it is a trip. It's really fun.
I gotta highlight this because it's pretty awesome. Who taught Jess how to premiere?
Blame Omar.
He did it by accident, and I think this is his third premiere, and the first one I told him, Jess, when you premiere videos, typically you're supposed to be in them chatting with the people. So he jumped because everybody thought, oh, he's live, he's not answering questions, what's happening? I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be there with the chat. So that was pretty funny. Okay, so here we have the list from Tier Maker. I didn't make this one. I found it. I had to edit some things because a lot of titles, older titles, we haven't read.
There's a lot of these that have not been released in English.
Yeah.
Or some of them that like have, but we haven't read much, or like we haven't had all of it released. Like for instance, Fist of the North Star, we've only had a few volumes worth of material in America.
Yeah.
Other ones of these we just haven't read that might have come to America. So if some of these are ones that you love, let us know, because I do actually own the volumes of a lot of those.
Yeah. Fist of the North Star, I've only watched the anime stuff. I only read a little bit of Act H, but we all know how that turned out. Uh,
Yeah.
We Never Learn, I've only seen the anime, and a bunch of others I've never read from the ones you're viewing right there. City Hunter, freaking Nisekoi, all that stuff. I've only seen the anime, so I can't really judge it. And Ryley hasn't read all that stuff, so we decided to dump all those titles out. And instead, we got a bunch of classic Shonen Jump series that a lot of people know and love. So we're going to get started right away. How about we start from the last one up? So let's start with Yu Yu Hakusho.
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of really high-ranking series in this bunch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love Yu Yu Hakusho so much, like unashamed. I'd say an A for me.
I mean, it has a little bit of everything. It's got the action, it's got the great characters, the plot is great, the pacing's all right because the manga is not too long. It's the right size,
yeah.
I think.
I think that's a really important thing to note. It's only 19 volumes, so it doesn't go on for too long, but it feels really substantial. You get a bunch of really great arcs, and there's really awesome characters. And who doesn't love Kuwabara?
I know, right? He's the best. So yeah, definitely A. I would say. What do you think about the art for Yu Yu Hakusho compared to Togashi's other works?
I think it is fantastic, and Togashi definitely got better as he went into Hunter x Hunter. But then, of course, we know sometimes later on with Hunter x Hunter, as his health was deteriorating a bit, he has a lot of pages and a lot of chapters that are just really kind of scratched together. So it gets better, and then it just kind of goes down again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd leave Yu Yu Hakusho as an A. The chat is in agreement with us. Gio loves Yu Yu Hakusho. Yes, I do. That's one of my favorite shows and manga. Next up, let's do Yu-Gi-Oh! What do we think about Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh man, you know how I feel about that. That's an A for me. But if it's lesser for you, I don't want to step on your toes. I made a video on my channel that a lot of people here probably watched. I made two videos, one reviewing the series and talking about why it was so great, and a second one talking about why Joey is the best. And Hayden's watching, so he's gonna give me some flack about that. But this series was so much better when I read the manga than I expected it to be at all. And it's so ridiculous and it's so silly in concept because it's about a children's card game, but it does such a great job of transcending everything that it is about on the surface and gives you a really exciting story with really intriguing and fun characters with a lot of really awesome artwork too. So, I mean, I'm biased in saying it's an A. I think a lot of people would say it's probably at the most a B, but hey, I'm biased, and if you want to get more info as to why, check out on my channel those two videos.
The only reason I would downgrade it, maybe it's because of the other series in the Yu-Gi-Oh manga franchise. I feel they aren't as great as the original. So a lot of people like to judge Yu-Gi-Oh as a whole. I don't know. I was going to say B, but I'll honor your wishes and place it on an A.
I think a lot of people also, if you haven't read the manga, a lot of people will judge it from the anime, and especially in the US, the 4Kids version. So you have to realize that's very dumbed down. It's a very dumbed down version.
Uh-huh. Yep, true. I'm going to leave it at A. Don't worry. I assume this next one is Yowamushi Pedal. Am I right?
No, that is Ice Shield 21.
Oh, that's Ice Shield? Oh, there's the football.
Yes.
All right. I thought they were cycling. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. All right. So what do we think about Ice Shield 21? I haven't read this one personally, but I do know about the series.
I'm just gonna feel like a broken record. I promise there's some non-A books coming up. This is another A. If you have not read Eye Shield, this was my first sports manga. It has amazing artwork from Yusuke Murata, who of course is working on One Punch Man right now.
Yep.
And it has just such a fun story with amazing characters by Riichiro Inagaki, who does Dr. Stone right now. So two great creators who are doing other amazing work were working together on this series. Even if you do not like football, I am not a football person at all, but even if you do not like football, it's such a fun series because it's just wacky. It's goofy and it's wacky, and it has all these just crazy characters, and the art lends itself so well to the way that they characterize the like techniques and the teams and the mascots and stuff to work along with the players. Trust me, I know, like I said, I'm a broken record now. I've said 3 A's in a row, but this is some A material.
No, I believe you. Sports manga typically are A, at minimum B level, so most of them are really good. This is Toriko, right?
Yes.
All right. I know some people probably don't want to hear about Toriko, but we're going to talk about it anyways because it's a manga.
I've only read the first. I've only read the first like 5 volumes, so I can't say for the whole thing. But I would say, from what I've read and not judging it based on anything else, I'd give it a C.
Okay, cool.
I do intend on going back and reading the whole thing, but just to say my opinions on it from what I have read, it has interesting ideas, interesting characters. The artwork seems pretty good, but there was a reason that a while ago I dropped it after about 5 volumes, and it just, to me, it seemed like the weaker cousin of Hunter x Hunter.
I remember you saying it was Hunter x Hunter meets what was it, Dragon Ball or DBZ?
It's Hunter x Hunter, but like if they only focused on the food hunters.
Okay, so Promised Neverland.
This is a great one. This one, God, I don't want to keep giving A's, but I feel like it's an A, if not a B.
I mean, it recently ended. I don't know how it ends. I haven't gotten to that part yet. I
haven't either.
But would you consider it better than Yu-Gi-Oh, or at least Eye Shield?
I think a lot of it depends on. So my feelings right now on it are very good, but it does, like you said, it depends on the ending, and it has ended, but neither of us has read the ending yet. So for me, it could be an A. It's very possible this could be an A series, but right now it sits in the B because I don't know. It's approaching its ending, and that's why I'm like hesitant to say where it can go, because it could completely just drop everything for me in the last couple volumes. But the artwork is fantastic, so
for sure.
Even if it doesn't wind up being the best story art-wise, oh my god.
Okay, this is a no-brainer. I'm going to save everybody the trouble. Right here.
Yes.
Slam Dunk is an S material.
The GOAT.
You've baited me for so many years now to read this. I've only watched the anime. I just need to make space for 31 books?
31 volumes.
So I need to make room for this series, and I know it's great because the anime is it's not as great as the manga, but it's still one of the best sports anime. So definitely S material. I'm not even going to question that.
I had someone on the video I released this week about Slam Dunk. Someone commented today saying that they weren't a big fan of the anime, but that they would like to try out the manga. And from all the stuff I said, and I responded saying about how I, like many people know, I don't really watch a bunch of anime based on manga. And one of the big reasons is because oftentimes there's pacing differences, and the anime will pace differently than the way that I read it, and the way that I believe sometimes that it was intended to be pacing. And a big point that I make in the video that I put out on Tuesday was that one of the biggest successes this series has is how well paced it is, because you have to have perfect and impeccable pacing when you're reading a series about fast-paced sports, fast-paced action like basketball. It's important that you feel engrossed in that and feel like you're in there on the court with them, watching the buzzer beat down to number one.
And man, I know you made a video about it, Ryley, but is Slam Dunk still in print?
Man, I should have checked that out.
I think it is in print, but a lot of the volumes are out of stock, from what I've seen.
I haven't checked. I'm gonna look real quick on Right Stuff for y'all.
Yeah. Okay.
Some of them are. Yeah, currently on Right Stuff, they all list out of stock, or they either say in stock or out of stock expecting more, but there's nothing that says just out of stock, which that makes sense for right now because they are behind on getting their new stock in. So,
and it may have been because of the birthday sale. I'm pretty sure those volumes were on sale too, like the rest of the
that would
catalog.
make sense. That would make sense. Let me check In Stock Trades, our wonderful sponsors here as well, because that's where I bought the series from. And In Stock Trades does have a good amount of the series, if not all of it, in their store.
I remember I gifted the first volume to a friend of mine. He thought it's okay. I'm like, dude, if you're not gonna like it, then let me keep it because I want it. He's a huge basketball fan, but yeah,
They're missing volumes 2, 3, 12, 15, and 17 on IST. So most of them are on In Stock Trades, and then others are on Right Stuff.
Nice. There you go. All right. Food Wars. What do we think about Food Wars?
I'm going to say overall, I would give this a solid B. I know there's a lot of people who don't like the last arc, but I think that the rest of the series it made up for that final arc and how fun it was. And I enjoyed seeing the creative recipes and stuff. I was talking with Omar earlier, and Curtis from the Epic Marvel Show, and I was telling them like most of the YouTube that I watch is cooking YouTube. So this is something that appeals to me. I enjoy seeing these creative recipes, and it's always funny to see the way that shonen manga morphs such an innocuous topic such as cooking. So yeah, even though the last arc is not fantastic, I would say this is a solid B.
Yeah, I agree. Plus, a lot of people they judged it for the anime and the food reaction scenes and all that stuff, but that gets toned down somewhat, I would think.
It's like the stuff that you're talking about, like the fan servicey type stuff. It does get toned down, but it's really funny because they have like the ultimate sequence basically in the last volume. It was like multiple volumes in a row where it was like very either not present or barely present, and then all of a sudden in the last one it's just like boom, and I was like, oh wow.
All right. Oh, here's something cool. Prince of Tennis. You remember that one?
I've only read a very, very little bit of this. And I did not love it when I first tried it. I have it. I bought the whole series because it was very cheap, and so I'm planning on going back to it. And right now, have you read or watched enough of it to give it a ranking?
I've watched a little bit of the anime. It's not really my thing. It's sports, which I don't mind, but I'm just not a huge tennis fan either way. So
I think C is a good place to place it right now, but everyone keep in mind that's because I haven't read more than about 2 volumes, and I read those 2 volumes when I was 14 or 13 or something. So it's literally been 16 or 17 years, and that's what I'm judging this on.
Yeah. Okay. I don't really. I would have just grouped everything together, but let's do the first part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I give that a C.
I agree. I mean, I'm one of the few that actually really love that part compared to the rest of the JoJo franchise, which gets exponentially better as the series progresses. But I really liked it. But a C is great for it, I think.
I think it does a good job of introducing the world a little bit,
Yeah.
but if I'm judging it against everything else, even if I enjoy it, I have to admit, like, it just gets better and better from there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do. Well, let's get this out of the way. One Piece, of
Up, up, up.
course,
Yeah.
S tier. This is just when it comes to manga and comics and manga in general. This is just a class example of how to do characters and world building and all that stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a fantastic series. I can't say anything else. It's
And
still ongoing, but it doesn't matter.
this one, like I was saying with Promise Neverland, where the ending of that series is really gonna impact my full feelings on it. One Piece is a series that, like you said, is so expertly crafted when it comes to building and characters that even if they shit the bed in the last arc or something, everything that came before it will still make it one of the best series of all time.
Yep, I agree. Naruto. I don't see Shippuden here, so we're gonna group the two together. Just Naruto completely, everything together.
I'd say A or B. I can go either way on that. I think that it's a great starter shonen manga. It's a fantastic series. It's very fun, good artwork. It gives you a good idea of what shonen is and what it can be.
Yep.
It is rather long and it does lose a little steam there towards the end, but I think it is a really great series, and it deserves the popularity that it has.
Oh yeah. I mean, the strongest thing about Naruto is its world and its characters. The narrative isn't exactly the best or the smoothest, especially towards the end, like you mentioned. But I would agree. I love Naruto to death. Everything about it, the manga, the anime. I've read the whole thing. I've watched the whole anime. But I agree. It's a solid B, like B plus, I would say.
Yeah, it teeters. It can go up to A. It could be a B.
Yep.
It can be an A. Um, it's just funny. I'm looking at it, and I know some people are going to be like, "This fool ranked Yu-Gi-Oh above Naruto."
That's all right. Don't worry about it. Jesse says if Rock Lee was the main character, it would be C or S. Sorry, it would be S. Yeah,
If Rock Lee was the main character, it would have been wrapped up a lot sooner.
a lot sooner than that. Yeah. Uh, let's do Ultimate Muscle.
This one I've only read. This is another I've only read part of,
Yeah.
and I've really enjoyed what I've read. But it's not one of my favorite things. And also note that this is showing like the whole thing. I've
Yeah.
only read part of and watched part of the anime of uh, Ultimate Muscle, not the original Kinnikuman. So C is a good place right now. This is one that I have the whole series on my shelf, and I will be reading it at some point, hopefully soon, so I can give a better idea of everything. But I feel like once I read the whole thing, it'll probably raise from that level and go up to a B, maybe even an A, depending on how I feel.
When you do the video, you have to put on leotard like the wrestlers and make a review like you're in a ring and you're gonna fight. But
Should
Ultimate
I
Muscle.
sing the beef and rice song or whatever?
Yeah.
Cow and rice. What is it?
Was Ultimate Muscle the one with the character? Was it Dick Van Dyke? Dick
Yeah,
Van Dyck?
it's Dick Van Dyck.
Dick Van Dyck. There you go. I remembered.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot
uh,
of crazy characters in that one. Ramen Man, Dick Van Dyck. That's just the two off the very top of my head. But yeah, cosmic galactic wrestling. with the zaniest characters.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the whole anime. I watched like the entire first major arc, and it's so much fun. I'm really looking forward to reading the manga. I'm looking at it right now. It was quite the chore to track those volumes down, so I'm hoping that I enjoy it.
Yeah. Jesse is asking, where is Bobo 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 Bo?
It's in there somewhere.
It was on a previous because I had several.
No, it's next to Bleach.
It's in here.
Yeah, it's next to Bleach and.
Oh, here it is. All right, let's do Bobo Bo. What do we think about Bobo 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 Bo?
That one is also very limited because of how much they released in the US. So I would have to put it on a C as well. It's stupid and funny and amazing for that, but I've never read the material that was not released in the US, which the decisions they made in publishing that were so weird. Like they did a single volume randomly, and then they did 5 other volumes just randomly from the series. And it seems like Viz was just like, yeah, it's a random enough series, it really doesn't matter. And they just gave us whatever they felt like giving us.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a bonkers series. I love it. But for me, at least, it's middle of the road, but I still enjoy it. And I loved watching the anime back in the weekend Toonami era when it was on Saturdays. So I have very fond memories of watching Bobo 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 Bo.
Even my wife knows the name of it because it's so ridiculous. I've mentioned the series to her before.
Yeah.
And so sometimes she'll just say something like, "What about Bobo?" Like she doesn't remember it. I'm like, "You mean Bobo 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 Bo?" Because it's the specific way. That's how it's said. Bobo 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 Bo.
Exactly. Shout out to Cleveland Brown. All right, made it. Thank you. And man, was Bobo the one with the character with long nose hairs? Yes. Yes, he
has the big blonde afro, nose hairs, and it was the hair kingdom that he fights against. It's people who like shave everyone's head or something like that, and his friends are the orange like starburst looking guy. Jelly Jiggler, wasn't that his name? The big blue dude. Yeah. And then there's a really just normal looking pink haired girl as well. It's just the most outrageous, just ridiculous thing.
And I don't know if you remember, but the Starburst character reminded me of a snack that I would eat in the early 90s or late 90s. I can't remember the brand, but I'm going to look it up before we leave because I've always said, hey, it's like the Cheeto Puffs that I like to eat or something like that. I'm going to look for it in a little bit.
I might know what you're talking about.
It was terrible. Whenever somebody gave it to me, it tasted awful and past its expiration date. But I ate it anyways because I was a kid, whatever. Can of soda and chips and Cheeto Puffs. But yeah, anyways. Let's do Rurouni Kenshin. Another controversial mangaka, but we're just going to evaluate the library of work here.
That series, I really hate that we have to like mention something so negative because it's such a good series. This is at least an A. Yeah. I'd say it has great artwork, great characters, fantastic storytelling.
It's a legendary series, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is so good, and it's just unfortunate that the name gets tainted because of the creator being such a skis.
Yeah, it would have been an S, but because of the creator, just screw him, and I'm just gonna lower it to an A. But for everybody that does not want to support the manga, and I totally agree with you, watch the anime instead. It's made by different people.
Or the movies. There's also the film adaptations.
Yep. Next up, let's pick at random. How about Haikyuu?
I've only read the first 7. Haven't you watched the anime?
Yes, I am collecting the anime, and I think Haikyuu is easily one of the best sports titles. It's I mean, I haven't read the finale, but oops, what did I do? Shoot.
Oh, you
here we go.
just moved them around, switched them.
Sorry. So yeah, it has the potential to be an S level, but I'm going to leave it here for an A.
That makes me really excited to read it or start reading again.
Yeah.
I bought all the volumes when it was around 20 volumes, and that was around the same time as I got Food Wars as well. And I was switching off volumes, and I got more invested into Food Wars at the time. So I stopped reading Haikyuu after about 6 or 7 volumes, and I just never got back to it. And it's more and more overwhelming the more time passes, because now we're at like 40 volumes.
Yeah, volume 40 was just solicited, I think.
I think it's due out this month.
Or it's coming out, yeah. But the anime is fantastic, and the manga as well. I've read a little bit of it on the Shonen Jump app. It's just so good. Next up, let's do Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball.
Is it only Dragon Ball, or is that counting for both?
I don't see DBZ in here, so let's count. Well, let's do just let's count them both. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, same thing.
It's a classic.
At least an A.
It gets a lot of flack from people because it is pretty simplistic at times. Yeah. But the series, there's a reason why it was so popular and why it still is a very popular title. And it does have a lot of really fantastic characters. I know that obviously a lot of them get left behind and left in the dust because of the power creep with the Saiyans and stuff like that. But there's such great development moments with Vegeta, for instance. He has one of the best character arcs in the whole series, and we have just terrifying villains. The Cell Saga is like straight up horror at points. It's just terrifying. So there's a lot of really great stuff. It does suffer from that power creep. It does suffer from being a little bit overlong once it gets past Cell and into the Boo stuff. But of course, the anime has a lot of filler, so the manga is preferable. I would say that A is definitely a good place to set that one.
Yep. Next up, we've got, let's do Black Clover.
I think you should tackle that one because you're the bigger Black Clover fan.
Black Clover is amazing. I love this series so much. It has probably, for me at least, just for me, one of the best shonen manga protagonists of all time. Asta is amazing. He's my boy. He's working his butt off. And the fact that it's in a world where people use magic and he can't use it, it's very different when you compare it to Naruto, where Naruto just doesn't have friends growing up, but he can still somewhat use chakra. Same with Bleach. Ichigo starts learning and is able to do stuff. Asta can't do any of this because he doesn't have whatever it is that makes people produce mana for magic or whatever. He can't use it. So they find, it's a little Deus Ex Machina, I guess, but they find a device for him, a solution for this. And it's genius because the item that he uses literally counteracts everything in this world, in the world building and all that stuff. I love the characters, I love the art, and I like that even though Asta wants to be the Wizard King, the kingdom it's terrible. There's a lot of injustice and prejudice and racism in that series towards poor people from like Asta who came from the slums, stuff like that. And it's hopefully with him wanting to be in a leadership position, he can change the world and create a positive impact. Plus the whole thing with the elves and the other villains I'm not going to mention. I love it. I'm going to be, a lot of people are saying B. I'm going to say A. And I apologize, but I don't care.
You go for it, man. I'm all for it. I've had so much fun with that series, and we discussed before, I think it's a better read in chunks.
Oh yeah,
The bigger chunks you have, the more fun it is to read. But it's definitely a very fun series that if you're a fan of something like Naruto, this is exactly the type of thing that can appropriately fill that void that series might have left.
yeah. Wait a minute. Fighting words. I mean, yeah, Asta is better than Deku. I agree. Asta's a combination of Deku's wholesomeness with Goku's fighting spirit and tenacity, and you see a little bit of Ichigo in there sometimes, I guess, with his attitude towards his friends and stuff. I just think he's a well-rounded protagonist. Plus, he's so buffed up because he can't use magic. He relies on physical strength along with his sword and all that stuff. So that's really awesome that you got a really powerful protagonist. And unfortunately, a lot of people made the comparison back when it started. Black Clover is just like Naruto. Every Shonen Jump series has a lot of it in common with other series, so that's not fair because you could say Naruto is a clone of something else. So I didn't really buy that argument. Do we have a chess sports anime? I think we do, right?
I bet I can find one.
Because even though it's not chess, Hikaru no Go is still shogi, which is similar to chess. So, all right, let me get back to the thing here. Let's do a recent entry into Shonen Jump, Dr. Stone.
I found chess.
Which one is it?
Let's see. There's one called Blitz.
For anybody wondering, there's even a hockey manga. So they'll do manga about anything.
Chrono Monochrome.
There you
go. Anyway, which one were we looking at again?
Dr. Stone.
Oh man, Dr. Stone's a lot of fun. I mentioned this earlier. Same guy who did Ice Shield. Yeah, B is a great place for that. I think that it's... What's the best way for me to say? It's got the perfect amount of excitement in it to keep me reading, but it's not a series where I'm like adrenaline pumping on the edge of my seat. Every once in a while, it kind of hits those notes, but it's more just... It's very intriguing because it's such a different series. For anyone that's not familiar, it follows basically in this world, there was some thing that happened and a light covered the world and turned everyone to stone. And 3,000 years passes and our main character, Senku, Senku?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get names wrong all the time. He gets broken out of his stone and he starts deciding that he's going to rebuild society because the entire world 3,000 years later has been covered in just trees and all kinds of stuff, so society is no longer around, and the series is him waking up people and building a new society and trying to figure out the mystery behind what happened in this world that turned everyone to stone. And it's a lot of him doing it's like Bill Nye the Science Guy, but a shonen manga. Like he's doing a lot of these science experiments, and he like explains, if we do this and we do this and we combine this and we get this, and then you can make a cell phone and that kind of stuff. It's like, it's so fun and ludicrous, but it's got that charm to it that just makes me keep coming back for more. And I really think the last couple volumes I read, I don't know if you've read those last couple ones that came out, Gio, but they were like top-notch stuff. And if it continues in that way, it could wind up being an easy A series.
The last one I read was volume 12, I think.
I think we're all the same.
When they got the minor spoilers, when they got the message from somebody. I don't. I'm trying to be super vague.
In
the water. But
let me I'm using my tablet. I'll just stand up and go to my shelf, and so I can see what.
That's where I left off. I love the art, and the thing,
Yeah, 12.
the really cool thing about Dr. Stone is that it doesn't rely on things like other manga in Shonen Jump, where, for example, the sports manga have certain story beats that they have to follow because of the nature of sports and the competitiveness and all that stuff. If you have a battle shonen, there is a thing that they do, whether it's tournament arcs or rising above a challenge or becoming stronger. Here it's about wits and science and knowledge instead of bronze. So I really dig that. It's I know a lot of people jumped off the bandwagon. I think N-Man commented on it in the chat, but I still love it, and I love this world and the characters and all that stuff. And when they do something really cool, like create a new piece of technology or something, just it reminds you of the human spirit and what can we do as a society when we work together and all that stuff. I find it really motivational and inspirational. I like that stuff. So for me at heart, it's an A, but I got to be realistic and say it's a B. But still, a B is great.
I think it's on the way to A-dom.
Yeah.
A-dom.
Yep. Next up, let's do, which JoJo is this? Is this part 3?
Mm-hmm.
Stardust Crusaders, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. How do we rank that one? That's a fan favorite.
Yeah, this one, that part is an A at least for me. This is, I think, obviously this is where they introduce stands. So the series really evolves into more of what we get from the rest of JoJo. The artwork is fantastic, but it does fall into being very rhythmic and repetitive in a way that I've noted. A lot of people have noted that who are reading it now. When I was reading it back in high school, when it was coming out every other month or every 3 months or whatever, it was less easy for me to notice that. But with people reading it now, they're like, yeah, it's kind of like Monster of the Week type stuff. Yeah. But the main draw is that how inventive he was with creating these abilities and these really interesting characters. And I think that it's just a very classic take on good versus evil and the ultimate bro road trip series.
And taking all the stuff from part 1 and bringing it all the way down to part 3 and tying everything together in a perfect little ball. Yeah, it's awesome. The only thing, like you said, the pacing and the Monster of the Week stuff, when you read part 1, it's such a short part, and part 2 as well, and then part 3 is longer because they're doing so much stuff and they're traveling for so long. That's the only downgrade for me. But you know, you had the perfection of its villain in Dio, and for that, it's easily an A material because he's one of my favorite bad guys. So. Let's do Bleach. What about Bleach?
Y'all know how I feel about Bleach, but I have to be fair. I'm going to say B. I think at the very least, if I'm being fair, if I'm calling Naruto a B, Bleach is a B. I think Ichigo is one of the best shonen protagonists. He's selfless. He cares about his friends. He doesn't care about being the best thing of, whatever. He doesn't care about being the king. He doesn't care about being the strongest, aside from wanting to be able to help the people that matter to him. And for me, that makes him a really great protagonist. And Kubo, on top of, I'm not even going to mention his amazing art style, but Kubo has such a great gift at creating all these characters, creating all of the captains and vice captains in Soul Society, creating all the Visored and the Arrancar. So many very individualized and very interesting characters appear throughout this series, and it does get pretty stale in the last arc, similar to what happened with Naruto, but I felt like it did a good job of wrapping everything up in a way that you don't have a lot of questions. There are not a ton of lingering things, and I have to be thankful because he did reveal one of the things that I was hoping he would reveal, like for a long time, and that was with Kenpachi towards the end of it. So thank you, Based Kubo, for doing that and giving me that, because I wanted it for a while. So yeah, a B. If I was being completely unfair, I'd give this an A, because I am so unashamedly I'm just a huge fan of that series.
Bleach is fantastic, and like you said, the character work is probably the strongest thing about the series for me. Grimjow and Yoruichi and Hariba are three of my favorite characters in shonen manga. So they're all so diverse compared to each other. But yeah, also a lot of people in the chat are saying it should have ended with the Wekamundo stuff. It seemed like the natural way to end things, and maybe you could have done like a spin-off series or continuation later on. I would have ended it with the Aizen stuff.
I think that it could have had a shortened final arc, because there's still a good amount of story that deserved to be told, and it did get told, but it was literally a third, if not more, of the series was taken up by the pretty much pointless Fullbring arc, which was only there to give him his power back, and then the overlong 1,000-Year Blood War arc, which is basically just a million fight scenes that could have been condensed to be a lot shorter. So they could have done the same thing, but done it in about half, if not less, of the amount of volumes.
A lot of people are commenting. People love Bleach, man. That's so cool.
I'm glad.
Bleach was an S pre-Fullbringer. Shonen Jump rushed Kubo to finish it, which is why the ending wasn't complete. And the no background stuff at the end really bothered me. Okay, so let's do Assassination Classroom. I actually haven't read this, so this slipped by my radar.
I'm going to say this is a C for me. It's fun, but it doesn't really have much of a plot until, like, it's one of those series where the actual plot is kind of just teased a little bit at a time. And so in between the little parts where it teases the plot, you just get random in-between missions and stuff that don't really adhere to it. Once you get to the last, like, third of the series, it does a really good job of explaining what the heck is going on, like who these characters are and stuff. And at that point, it does get a lot better. And I think if it was a shorter series, then I would have bumped it up to a B. But I think that C is pretty fair for the way that I felt when I read through that series.
Okay. Let's do Shaman King.
I'm definitely a fan of this series. I did a video talking about it and why I'm so excited it's finally getting reprinted by Kodansha. I think at the very least this one's a B. It has great characters. It has a very diverse and fun cast. And it has a really amazing dichotomy between its primary antagonist and protagonist. And the art style is very original, but it also is not transcendent of the genre in any way. It's not the type of series where I'm like, oh man, this is one of the greatest, this is the GOAT, this is the best shonen. It sits very well. I would say if there was like a tier between A and B, that like Bleach and Naruto would probably be on that tier, and then this would be on the other tier with Dr. Stone and the others that we put in B.
Yeah. There you go. Let's do Hitman Reborn. Have you read that one?
Dude, I loved this series when it was being published, and it got canceled by Shonen Jump, by Viz, and I've never finished it. But I heard that it doesn't end great. I heard that it gets worse. I want to say it's a B, because I really, really loved the first 17 or so volumes. It starts out very like episodic, and then it's kind of a goofy kind of comedy type series, but once it starts introducing all the concepts and the characters, it gets so good. It has such cool characters, and I'm so disappointed that it never got to continue. This is one that I've been wanting to go back and read online just so I can finally finish it, but they only released like maybe a third of the total series. So disappointed. Great artwork too.
The art looks great, but I haven't read it, and I do want to watch the anime, but I haven't. There's so much stuff to watch.
It's the same artist that does Psycho-Pass, I think.
Nice.
I haven't watched that, but I know a lot of people are fans of that.
Let's do Death Note.
This one's hard. It's been a long time since I read it, and I think that the art is some of the best. I'm still a huge fan. I know that a lot of people comment on the story not aging that well. I think B is a really fair place to put it. When I read it back in high school, I thought it was awesome because it was so different from every shonen title.
Yeah, for a lot of people, you think Shonen Jump, you think Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto. And then you read Death Note, which has none of that. And it blows your mind. But we all know that after a certain arc happens in the first half, it kind of dips. But I still like it. I still love it. And I love Death Note to death. But it's, I said death twice. But it's a solid B for me. Let's move on. Let's do Bakuman. Have you read Bakuman?
I've only read... I don't remember how much I've read. You put it wherever you need to. I haven't read enough of it. I was reading it when it came out weekly. And I was really excited about it because I had just come off of Death Note. And I was like, yes, they're back for another series. And then I don't remember what happened, but life happens and I stopped reading. And I was probably like half a year into it or a year into it, like following it every week, and then I just fell off.
What about Hunter x Hunter?
That one is top tier. That's up there for me. That's an S for me. I don't know what you think, but that's honestly, as much as I love Yu Yu Hakusho, I think that Hunter x Hunter, aside from the points where his art got a little worse,
he perfected his craft.
So good. And this one, like I said with One Piece, even if it doesn't stick the landing, you can stop reading at the point where the anime ended and be absolutely fine. It's a good ending. It's fine. The material after it is really great. There's an entire volume that's dedicated to an amazing fight scene. But yeah, this is S tier.
Never fear, citizens. I am here. Hi, David. Thank you for joining.
But now I'm not.
Now we're good. Yeah, I agree. I think what Yu Yu Hakusho is fantastic, but Togashi perfected everything about what he was doing with Hunter x Hunter, in my opinion.
He also has so much fun with the characters in this series. Like so many different just crazy characters and different types of characters. And I love how innocent the series looks from the first few volumes, where the art on the first few volumes is just, hey, this is one innocuous looking dude and an animal. And then there's like, after that it gets really dark looking, but when you read the volumes it's really dark anyway. I don't know, I just like that kind of juxtaposition. But yeah, 8 years there in this, I would be upset about that, but also Berserk, so there's that.
Oh man, Berserk started in what, 86?
I don't remember the year. I just Hunter I've been reading since like 2004, so I don't, trust me, I know about the hiatuses, the hiatus. They're a pain in the ass, but despite it, I freaking love that series.
Let's do. Blah 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 blah. My Hero Academia.
This
I
is
think.
a great
Yeah.
series. I don't think Deku is the best shonen protagonist, but the real draw for this series is everyone else. I would be fine with saying it's an A. I would also be fine with saying it's a B.
I think Japan has been wanting to tap into the superhero market for so long, and they finally got it right with My Hero Academia. Because a lot of other series have tried, and I never liked them. But this one's great, and you got a whole interesting cast, like similar with Bleach.
Mm-hmm.
The characters in My Hero Academia are just fascinating. You have a little bit of everything. Zach is saying X-Men and manga. I kind of agree. You know, you've got a really diverse roster.
It's like Wolverine and the X-Men or Academy X, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those ones that focus more on the school with the younger mutants. This is like that because you have at the same time the older heroes, the ones who are the teachers and stuff. It's the same as with the X-Men. The older veteran X-Men are always teaching the younger children and rookies and stuff, and they have, even though they're kids, they wind up getting sucked into the drama of fighting the major villains and antagonists and stuff.
Yeah. Also, uh, I think Asta is a better protagonist, but Deku so far is the only character that I see a lot of similarities with myself, and for that I will always love our wholesome superhero boy. Just this fighting spirit and not wanting to give up in like ultimate adversity. I love that. Plus, he's a shy boy, so rings close to home.
He's also very willing to sacrifice whatever it takes of
Yeah.
himself to help others.
Mm-hmm. Let's do Chainsaw Man.
That's for you. I've only
Chainsaw
read the
Man
first volume.
we did a video on the first volume. If you guys want to check it out, last month. Chainsaw Man is bonkers, but oh my goodness, it's so amazing. This is easily, I'm gonna call this an A material series. Just how dark, grim, and bloody and action packed, and how it later on goes into the human psyche of how you have a character that doesn't really know how to feel and how to uh, emulate and how to be a human and learning through the actions of other people and being manipulated. There's a lot of interesting concepts at work. It's not an S yet because we're only 82 or 83 chapters in, but the stuff that happens in this manga, my goodness. Oh my gosh. Everybody's saying S, but I can't do that. I mean, I don't know.
If you want, that's all you. If you want to, I don't mind at all. Like I said, I've only read the first volume. The first volume was definitely intriguing enough to keep me
Yeah.
invested, but I can't judge it the same way everyone else can.
Endman said, interesting here. Oh, sorry. Didn't something happen in Chainsaw Man recently where people were upset? They're upset at the plot of what happened, not that the story's bad or anything. It's just what happens will infuriate you. It's so shocking that I'm still pissed. I'm still mad at the manga, but I want to keep reading because it's that damn great. I can't reveal it. It's such a shocking thing when you finally realize what the series is kind of about. I loved it. I can't wait for the new chapter. So I'm gonna leave it at A for now, simply because it's not done. It barely started. What, like a year and a half ago, something like that. So
Fair.
let me remove this comment.
Fair enough.
Orange Road. Have you read Orange Road?
No.
Let's put it there.
I didn't know if you had because I thought I had marked it off. I think that's by the
you marked it off?
I think the same person who did Cross Game, which I have read, and if David's still in the chat, he's read it and he knows how great that one is. Gintama is fantastic, but I've only read the 24 volumes that were in the US. So from that, I can give it an A or a B either way. But that's only about a third of the total series because it was discontinued. And I am a loser, and I did not read it after that online.
What about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Diamond is Unbreakable.
That is, in my opinion, that's above part 3. That is an S. I think that Josuke might be the finest of the JoJos. I think that Kira is a really fascinating villain. I think that while he created the stands in part 3, he really comes into his stride with them in part 4. I'm probably going to have people disagreeing with me, and that's absolutely fine. I respect all of your opinions about JoJo because that's one of the things I love about the series so much is that the people who've read every part of it, everyone forms very diverse opinions on it. I don't think that it's on the list because it wasn't in Shonen Jump Weekly, but part 7, Steel Ball Run, that one is the absolute best. That would be like a double S.
I want to read that. Yeah. I can read that, right? Without having read Golden Wind?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely fine because you've watched through part 5, yeah?
No, because I'm waiting for the Blu-ray because the Blu-rays are uncensored compared to the broadcast version that was streamed online. So I'm waiting to get the Blu-rays.
You don't have to. You've read all of the relevant stories about Dio, and so that's the main thing is just kind of knowing the characters because in Steel Ball Run it's a different version.
It's an alternate character. Yeah. All right, because I've read up to part 2 in the manga, and the anime I've only watched up to Diamond is Unbreakable. I haven't started Golden Wind, but I did order the first Blu-ray set, and it should be arriving next week. So I'm really excited about that to finally watch an anime character somewhat named after me. So
yeah, the Golden Wind also, in my opinion, has the best theme music for.
Oh yeah, definitely. Classic. We're running out of options here. Let's do JoJo. What part is this?
That is part 2.
Part 2? Let's do part 2.
That one is, I'm going to say a B. So that one is above part 1, but right below part 3.
Yeah.
I think it is fantastically characterized. I love hamon. I also love eating hamon. But yeah. I love that the powers that they introduce in that in that part, and I love the villains that are introduced there and how they relate to the overall plot. And I know a lot of people prefer part 2 over like part 3 and stuff. I grew up on part 3, like since 2005 when they started publishing it here, so it was it's kind of a bias for me, but I do love part 2 quite a bit.
I like that the concepts that started in part 1, part 2, you finally understand the backstory of everything of that universe a little bit. Plus New York, Mexico, it really brings it in. You start realizing, oh, this series is international. That's awesome. Let's do Black Cat. Have you read Black Cat?
I have. This was a fun shonen title. Great art, fun characters. I'm going to say it's been a while. I finished reading it when I was in high school, so it's been over a decade. Right now I want to put it at a C just because I can't remember anything that makes me say that it's above that.
Yeah.
But it is a really solid shonen manga, and it's only 20 volumes, so it's not something that's overwhelmingly long.
Okay. Also, I want to downgrade either one of these two because.
Hey, you do whatever. If you want to downgrade everything, you can downgrade everything.
Toriko, we haven't finished it, and I don't like the mangaka, so we go with D.
That's fine.
And Prince of Tennis, I think it's awesome, but it's not the best. But I'll leave it there. I don't know. JoJo stays. Bobobo can stay. I'm gonna get some flack from the tennis people, but I'm gonna put it here.
In like a year or 2 years, when I finally read Prince of Tennis, I'll come back and amend this video and be like, this is an S.
We'll update. Let's do. You assume this is Golden Wind JoJo Part 5.
That is, to me, on par with Part 3. That is an A series. The characters are just great. I absolutely love them. I love the setting. I love every character, all the protagonists. All of them are very diverse. They have interesting stories behind them. They have interesting motivations. Everyone's abilities are just... It just gets crazier and crazier. It's not as good, I think, as Part 4. Part 4 was a lot more... I think Part 4 is because I really love Kira as a villain. Yeah. And while the villain or villains that we get in Part 5 are fantastic, they're not perfect as my opinion on Kira was.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to be very honest. Part 4 has a lovable bad guy with a pompadour as the main character, and that's really, I mean... Look, we've got also Slam Dunk is in the S category because it's the same thing. You have a lovable bad boy with a pompadour. If Yusuke's was a little bit of a more powerful pompadour, he'd probably have gotten an S.
There you go. What the heck is this?
That is Hoshinengi.
I've never read that, so I have no idea.
Hoshinengi is based on one of the ancient Chinese folklores, one of the most famous folklore, and it is kind of like an updated sci-fi take on it. I'm trying to grab a volume. It is a fun series. It is not bad at all. It doesn't get any love, hardly. I think it might have had an anime adaptation not that long ago. But it has ridiculously proportioned characters, and I'm trying to grab a volume, though my shelf is very tight. Like, this character looks like he's a clown, but they all have feet that big. They all have feet and hands and stuff that are just ridiculously oversized. Like, you can see... This is some, like, Kingdom Hearts shit. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna say it's a C. This is another one that, like Black Cat, it's been a long time since I read it. But I remember having fun with it, but I don't remember it doing anything that blew me out of the water when I was reading it, like some others that I read at the time. But it might be worthwhile for some people.
Would you say it's a D?
I wouldn't say it's a D. I know our C is getting has got a lot, but it's not a D. It's worthwhile. It's good stuff. It's definitely cool. If you like the stuff like Journey to the West, this is another tale that's mentioned in the same breath as Journey to the West or like Sayuki.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat mentioned, what about Gash Bell or Zatch Bell? Was that
in no, that was in Shonen Sunday, I think.
Got it.
Let me see.
Okay.
I don't know if it says the magazine. I just happen to have the series right next to me. I don't think it says in here which magazine it is, but it was Weekly Shonen Sunday or one of the other Shonen titles, but it was not part of Shonen Jump Weekly.
Yeah. Let's do Hikaru no Go.
I've only read about half of it. I really enjoy it. I really love the concept of Go and stuff like that. And of course, it has amazing artwork by Takeshi Obata, who we know a little bit later from Death Note. So yeah, I think C is a good place to put it now, and that one, just like Prince of Tennis, could move up because when I finish it, I'll have a better idea of the quality of the entire series.
Also, for those watching, we will revisit this table, this tier list later on, because I do want to see if our opinions change when we have gone through different manga and all that stuff. So yeah. Is this? Let's do Stone Ocean, which I have not read.
This is the weakest part of JoJo. This is going to be a C for me.
Would you say it's below for part one or above?
It's on par with part one.
Okay.
Part one is just, it only would be a little bit better because it's more concise.
Yeah.
Stone Ocean is a little bit longer. It's like 17 volumes as opposed to the 5 of part one. I think that it's just, the villain is not the most interesting villain, and the way that it's wrapped up was not my favorite. It's very interesting in the plot. It's just the villain, when you go from like having Dio and the Pillar Men and Dio and Kira and Diabolo, and then you go to Pucci in this one, it's just, I don't know, he's very much
underwhelming.
He really is. It's like trying to draw these connections back to Dio, and they're like, oh, he was just this random devotee of Dio. It's just not the most interesting villain in the world, and there's a lot of like just overwhelming, overpowered stuff going on in there, which is funny because Jolene has like the most underwhelming power. She uses it very interestingly, but her ability compared to like every other ability that we see, she's just able to kind of like unravel her stand into string. So yeah, it's like we have all these crazy abilities like stopping time and repairing things in an instant and like all that kind of stuff, but then you have Jolene can unravel her stand into a string. And it's all about how you use it. It's not about the size. It's about the motion in the ocean with the lotion and all that stuff. But still, I don't know. It's decent. If you're a JoJo fan, you're gonna check it out. If you're a JoJo fan, you're gonna want to read it, and hopefully they get the anime adaptation. But every other part, I think, is better than that.
Maybe the anime will fix some of that. Probably.
I'm hoping that the anime does a little bit to fix maybe some pacing issues with it. Maybe make it just a little bit more interesting at times, but it's fine. It's not the best. It's okay.
What about, is this what is this?
That is Knights of the Zodiac.
Figured.
I'm going to say a solid B for Knights of the Zodiac. Classic action manga, classic art, classic stories, but it doesn't have the most depth. It's very surface level with its storylines. It's basically just, hey guys, this is happening, you need to fight. And it's literally like you see them walk through, you could imagine them on like a chessboard almost, or like not even chessboard, like a game board where you're like rolling the dice and moving a space forward, and it's like, oh, I moved 2 spaces forward and there's another guy for me to fight here, 2 more spaces. That's kind of the way that it's all set up, literally in the manga. It's set up that way. They're like, oh, there's some stairs and there's a temple here, and there's more stairs and another temple here, and another temple here. So there's 12 guys you have to fight, and then there's one really big one that you have to fight at the end. So it's very simplistic, but I love the art. It has very classic manga art, and I love the simplicity of it. It makes for something really interesting. I love all the techniques, and I think that is very much a precursor to a lot of manga that would come in the following decades. There's a reason why it is so legendary, and if you haven't seen or read it, I do recommend it. It is very very base level kind of stuff, but it is a classic for a reason. So I know I've rambled on enough, but B, I think, is a very good place to put it.
Cleveland Brown makes a solid argument here. This list does not have One Punch Man. Where would you place it?
One Punch is not from Shonen Jump Weekly.
That's what I was thinking. I was a little bit confused.
I would say maybe an A. The plot is good, but the artwork throws that all the way up to an A for me.
Yeah. But it's not Shonen Jump, right?
It was in the it's a monthly.
The monthly manga? Got it. I get confused sometimes.
Sorry, I'm trying to see exactly because they had a bunch of those monthly type magazines. Because the original series is a web comic.
Yeah. We got a visitor in the chat. Tyler is upset. What the heck?
Which?
Why is Dragon Ball not in the S tier? I don't understand. What is happening?
There is no Super Saiyan tier, Tyler.
Yeah, there's not Super Saiyan levels.
So it's from Tonari no Young Jump is where One Punch Man is published. The original one was a webcomic though.
Yeah.
And it was him, I think, one drawing it himself the same way he does Mob Psycho 100.
Mob Psycho, yeah.
We're almost done here.
Yeah, we're almost done. This is Slump, right? Dr. Slump?
Dr. Slump. This is Toriyama's series that preceded Dragon Ball, the nice comedy series about a young robot girl and her misadventures. I'm going to say this is a C. It's a good comedy series, but it's definitely not something I would recommend for everyone. If you're just a Toriyama fan and you want to see his earlier work, then definitely check it out. But there's a lot of similar types of titles, like comedy type series that are gag manga, I should say, that are better than Dr. Slump.
Demon Slayer. I haven't. We're not done with that series. I know it wrapped up.
Yeah, I haven't read the end. But I'm gonna say overall, saying the same type of sentiment that I did back towards the end of the video with Promised Neverland. This one I could rest at an A myself, or a B if you feel like A is too kind. Because I do think it's really fantastic. I just don't know how I'm gonna feel once it ends.
Yeah, I'm reading it when the volumes come out.
Yeah, same here.
I don't know how it ends, but
as the volumes come out, I'm going to say I enjoy my volumes of Demon Slayer more than I enjoy my volumes of Promised Neverland, and I love both of those series. So
I want to go with A simply because I think the plot for Demon Slayer, for me at least, it's a little bit more enjoyable than stuff like Promised Neverland and Death Note and all that stuff, for me at least. Plus, I'm sorry, but when it comes to wholesomeness, Tanjiro is the best wholesome protagonist in Shonen Jump, and he's so thoughtful and caring, and he's really trying his best for his sister and all the stuff that he gets put through. Jesus Christ. The only knock against the manga would be the art, because I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, especially when you got the anime from UFO Table, but it's got its own quirkiness to it that I like it. I'm gonna leave it at an A. Yeah. What the heck is this? Let me zoom in because I have no idea what that is.
That I think is Mashal. I marked that one off. I haven't read it.
Oh, well, let's leave that here. Somebody, I think it was N-Man, was asking if we could at least name the stuff in here that we haven't read.
Yeah.
Because he was wondering about these titles. So this is Fist of the North Star.
The second one is the Dragon Quest manga. There is an anime adaptation actually coming soon. And the team that wrote and drew the manga is the same team as Beat the Vandal Buster. So I'm very interested in either watching or reading somewhere online. The third one is, I think, one of the parts of Captain Tsubasa. I think that's the second part. That is a soccer manga. The next one is Act Age. That is the one that got canceled recently because of the creator being involved in some pretty slimy stuff.
I was reading it. I'm going to say it's a D.
Okay. And the next one is the first part of Captain Tsubasa.
Yeah.
I can't see that one.
Cat's Eye.
Cat's Eye. I have not read that one. I think, is that the same? No, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. City Hunter is the next one. That one's rather popular. It was published for a minute in the US by Gatsune under the Raijin Comics label. There are some popular movies starring Jackie Chan, but unfortunately the series, the only series picked up after Raijin got canceled was Slam Dunk, thankfully. But City Hunter has fallen into obscurity. I'm not 100% sure about the dog one, but it looks familiar. The next one is, it looks like the same creator as Captain Tsubasa, but I'm not 100% sure.
Nisekoi.
Nura Rise of the Yokai Clan is the one with the big white-haired dude.
I place Nisekoi here with a D because it's a rom-com.
I've watched a few episodes of that one, and I own 8 or 9 volumes of it. I just haven't gotten deep into it, but I am interested. The next one is the same creator as Knights of the Zodiac. I forget what his series was called, but I think that's the one that preceded Knights of Zodiac, or maybe it was directly after. I don't remember. Rookies, that is a baseball manga, I believe, that Molly and Kong from the groups are both fans of. I think Kong actually recently told me I should check out Rookies. I don't know what the next one is. I cannot tell. The next one is... It
says Volume 1 pre-production.
It's the same creator that did Aizu, which is on the bottom row somewhere. I just cannot remember what it's titled. Let me see. We'll look at the next row and I'll find it out.
We Never Learn is actually, let me move Nisekoi to C level. We Never Learn is a D. It's not that great, especially with the ending. Kind of ticked me off. Dog manga is Nagareboshi Gin or Jin.
Video Girl I is that one that I couldn't tell.
Video Girl.
So yeah, the same as Aizu. I don't know what the red one is, but the next one is Bastard. Charge Men's School. I've heard of that one. The one next to it, I think, is Beelzebub.
Yeah.
With the little baby.
Mm-hmm. I haven't. I wanted to watch the anime, but I haven't.
I don't know what that next one is. I can't tell. The pink one, that's Aizu. Then next to that is Kochikame. Kochikame wrapped up just a few years ago in Shonen Jump, but was the longest running title in Shonen Jump. Kuroko no Basketball, that one I do own all of. It was published by Shonen Jump not that long ago in nice 2-in-1 paperbacks. I bought that because, being a big fan of Slam Dunk, I wanted to read another basketball series, but I haven't jumped into it. That's not Mazinger, is it? Yeah, that's
yeah, I think it is.
Mazinger Z.
Yeah.
I don't know what the next one is. The next one is Sket Dance.
Yeah.
To Love Ru.
Strawberry. It's okay.
That's another one of the like romantic comedy type ones.
Yeah.
Strawberry 100%. That's another like harem romantic comedy series. And then Orange Road, like I mentioned, is the same person who did the baseball one that I was talking about, Cross Game.
I think this was a Kickstarter or something for the manga over here, and I think Omar backed it up or something like that. Or am I crazy? I don't know if the chat remembers.
You might. I know that the anime got published over here, but I don't know about the manga.
I know he backed an old manga because that's what he reads, old manga. I'm kidding. I love you, Omar. But Orange Road, I think that's the one he told me about, that he backed up or something because they wanted to re-release it, or I don't know. Probably making it up. But yeah, we haven't read those, so we can't judge them. If you want to judge them in the comment section, please feel free to do so. We will be doing, and for the next update one, I don't know when that will be, maybe a couple months from now, I am going to try and build one myself with titles that are missing, because I'm pretty sure we might have skipped some. So, and see if we've read more series of the ones that we haven't read, or the ones that are in the C level or D that we haven't finished.
Just looking at my shelves, Busa Claymore, Gunblaze West, that was a canceled one. Ultimo.
Yeah.
Tegami Bachi is another one that wasn't on there.
Baki, Kengan Ashura.
D. Grayman wasn't on there. D. Grayman moved to the monthly magazine, though. Blue Exorcist.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one.
World Eater, Beat. Some other stuff, too. But, yeah, there are several that didn't wind up. Jujutsu Kaisen wasn't on there.
Oh, that's right.
So that was kind of surprising.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's some manga.
Busorenkin. No, we covered One Piece right there, S level.
One Piece.
One Piece. Full Metal is not Shonen Jump, so that's why it's not on here.
That one I do think was Shonen Sunday.
Yeah, and yeah, Claymore. Yeah, so I would like to revisit this list and add missing Shonen Jump titles, and maybe have some of the other co-hosts for the Manga Collectors show, so we can share more opinions on these books. Inan's Road is a Kickstarter, $25 for books. Cool. Okay. Looking through some of your comments because there's a lot.
Yeah, and I looked it up, and it's not by the same person that did Cross Game, so I'm just dumb.
Gotcha.
Cross Game is still a great series.
Yeah.
You should still read it.
Also, Ace of the Diamond is a phenomenal sports manga. One of the best, in my opinion. I loved it. I love it. I've only watched the anime, but it's so good. I like baseball a lot. It's my favorite sport. So, Inward. Tanjiro is the king of shonen protags. Definitely.
You know, I'm surprised that we don't have any or that many baseball manga published in the U.S. because there's, like you said, Ace of Diamond. There was another one in Shonen Jump called Mr. Full Swing. Because baseball is one of the most popular sports in Japan as well.
Yeah.
So
it is voted as the top sport in Japan. Yep.
So I'm surprised we have so few of them in the U.S.
It's Japan. Japan's what was the poll I read? Baseball, soccer, and basketball. Definitely baseball. Is GTO shonen?
I would say that it's more of a seinen. Personally, that's my opinion. Seinen because it kind of is looking at going for an older audience by the subject matter.
Yeah. Kuroko no Basket is fun. I only understand basketball because of it. Nice.
If you haven't read Slam Dunk, definitely check it out.
Yeah.
I mentioned in the video, just kind of an aside, I mentioned in my Slam Dunk video that one of the things that series did, and I guess that Kuroko does as well, and that Ice Shield does really well, is they explain the sport for you as you're reading. So if you don't understand, like I didn't know anything about football myself. And when I was reading it, it tells you, because it focuses on a character who's not a football player. He just has natural talents in his agility and stuff. So the football team adopts him. And he learns how to play, and as he's learning, you learn how to play, or you learn the rules and stuff behind the game. So that's a really awesome tactic that they use in a lot of those series. Highest ranking title with less than 20 volumes.
Here's some
anything
good.
by Urasawa.
Urasawa, yeah. Somebody, Hanky Pim said Monster. Zach said A Silent Voice. He's probably talking about Shonen Magazine, but A Silent Voice is a great manga with less than 20 volumes. Yu Yu Hakusho, yeah.
Yeah. Most shonen titles are a little longer than 20.
Yeah.
At the very least. Most of the biggest, well-received ones. But when you're looking at more like Seinen, Naoki Urasawa has Monster and Pluto. Others. Pretty much anything by Junji Ito is like 1 volume or 2 volumes.
How long was Master Keaton?
Like 14 or 13 or 11. I don't know. It's short. It's not that long.
Nice.
The new editions of 20th Century Boys will be less than 20. That's another Urasawa. The new editions of Full Metal Alchemist will be less than 20 as well. Just realized I have some books out of order on my shelf.
Gundam Origin is 12 volumes. That's true. Andres.
Hellsing.
Hellsing's 10 volumes. Or if you get the deluxe editions, 3 volumes.
Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon, you told me, was 10, right?
Yeah,
plus
the original is like 18.
Did you see the link I posted on our chat? They solicited the other ones. They're coming out in January. The Sailor V, was it? The deluxe edition?
Yeah.
Those are coming out too in the same month. So that's awesome.
I am excited.
Oh, I knew we were missing somebody. Hayden, damn, my internet went down for an hour and you guys are still live. Hey again. We're just wrapping up. We're going to wrap up, so sorry about that, Hayden. 2 more things here. Actually, 3 more things before we wrap up. Hanky Pim, Gio, what is your favorite baseball team? That would be the Chicago Cubs. I've been a huge fan since I was a little kid, and I still like them to this day.
My team is a bunch of cheaters, so there you go.
Sakura Darling, can't wait for you guys to rank your favorite shoujo manga. I've slowly been trying to read shoujo stuff, so give me a few months and I'll probably do a ranking eventually, because I like shoujo manga. I just need to get more into it, more exposure to it, I guess.
My collection of shoujo is not minuscule, but it's just very small compared to my shonen and seinen titles.
Yeah. Gio, have you watched Welcome to the Ballroom? I had no interest in ballroom dance, but I love the anime. I want to watch it. I haven't yet. I know it's. I looked around, and I don't know if I found the streaming site for it. So I don't know. But it looks interesting. I know y'all love Tokyo Mew Mew. Probably. I like anything. Give me a good story. I'll like it.
My sister had a few volumes of that when we were growing up.
Yeah. N-Man, what about D Gray Man? Next time we'll rank it properly, because it was supposed to be in here.
I wonder if they didn't include it because it moved magazines.
Could be it. Yep. Siren. Blood Plus fans. I love Blood Plus. One of my favorite shows. I love that. Blood the Last Vampire is a technical achievement in animation. I love the animation on that movie, but it's not as great as Blood Plus. 51 solid episodes. I loved it. Character development, vampires, all that stuff. Gia, you were one of the guys who wanted to destroy Steve Bartman on that foul ball. I was so upset that night. I watched in disbelief. But hey, they had another game and they dropped the ball, so no excuses. You still had more outs to end, more innings, I should say, and you had a 7th or a 6th game or whatever it was. So Welcome to the Ballroom is on Amazon. Yes, all right. I'm going to add it to my Prime thing to watch. Yuna and the Haunted of Ballroom?
Yeah, I have the first 4 volumes. I haven't gotten to it. Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs is a Shonen Jump title.
Yep.
But it's
not
funny.
On the list, but it's a Shonen Jump.
It's funny because it's, I guess, explicit enough that instead of having Viz didn't get the license, but 7 Seas has it, and 7 Seas publishes it in the US. But yeah, it's like, I thought that Food Wars could be explicit. That series is, oh boy.
It's yeah, but like Yuna's more like traditional ecchi, whereas Food Wars was trying to be weirdly erotic and some because you're making I get it, you're making a satirical statement with the culture around food and how we value food and all that stuff, but some of those scenes in Food Wars, my gosh.
Do you remember the thing with Yuna with the page?
What?
With the there was
yeah.
Like on one page, it might have been like a page of like Food Wars or something where there was like a dish.
Yeah.
And there was something in the dish, and when you looked at the page in the light, the thing in the dish shone through, and it was basically making this already fan servicey image just a full on nude.
Yeah, that was not that great. Like, yikes. All right, Shonen Jump.
That was a big oof.
Yeah, I tried watching the anime, but I dropped it like 3 episodes in. I'm like, no, I can't. I got better things to watch. Hanky Pim, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And, well, you guys won the World Series later, though. That's true. Thankfully. Oh, Jesse asked earlier, but I forgot to answer this. Did you guys check out Burn the Witch? I've been reading it as it's coming out.
I haven't read the second chapter yet, but I read the first one and the one shot.
I wanted to do a first impressions video, but since it's only 4 chapters, it's not worth it. So I'd rather review the full series. So I'll talk about it when we get to that point. But it's interesting. It's fun. There's going to be a new movie coming out soon in October, Burn the Witch. Yeah, the movie is adapting the one-shot and this limited 4-chapter series, which I wish were longer because you're kind of introducing things all over the place, and I'm still getting used to liking the girls and the other characters and all that stuff. So I don't know. It looks pretty though. I like the art a lot. I think it will go to series. Definitely. Once that anime movie hits, it's going to premiere in Japan as a full-length feature, and then we can watch. It's going to be split up into like 4 or 5 episodes on Crunchyroll in October. So I'll definitely we'll see that series as an ongoing.
It's much smarter of a way to try and get a full series than going right in with like Samurai 8. Because they're gauging the interest. So if there is no interest, then it's no harm, no foul. It's not like something gets ended prematurely. So if it does get enough interest, then cool, he gets to expand on something. But at least I just realized I'm like halfway in the frame. It's not like his story gets cut short from what was happening. No, it is. I was about to say, he said. Yeah, Ryley did say it was Shonen Jump. It's just not published in the U.S.
By
Viz. It's published in the U.S. by
7 Seas.
By 7 Seas. Another To Love Ru is also a Shonen series or Shonen Jump title that gets published by 7 Seas in its spin-off Darkness.
Yep. All right, folks. That's about it. I left the tier list there so you can judge it and let us know in the comment section down below how you would have changed things up, what you would have lowered and raised and all that stuff. So I'm very interested in finding out. We will be back to do another tier list later on when we've read more manga, and hopefully we'll have more people on. No Fs on the list. That just means that a lot of these titles we really liked, and we didn't want to give them an F. So maybe it'll change. Maybe in a couple months there'll be a lot more Fs once we finish the series. So yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Let me remind you once again that a lot of the manga that we talked about today, especially all these Shonen Jump titles, you can find them at InStockTrades.com, our wonderful sponsor. InStock Trades, where you can get your collected editions and manga up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on an extra 2% to that. And if you ordered $50 or more in your collected editions order, you get free shipping. Wonderful packaging and fantastic customer service when you go to InStockTrades.com. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will be back 2 weeks from now talking about something. Solicits, maybe a review.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe a review, a mini review, solicits. I don't know. We'll probably do solicits, hauls, reads, all that fun stuff. So thank you, everybody. Ryley, where can the fine folks in the internet find you?
Well, you can find me on my channel, the Omnibus Collector. I have every Tuesday is a manga video day. I have every Thursday is my single issue day, and every Friday is a comic day. So cool videos to see there. How about you? Where do they look for you?
Yeah, you can find me on my channel, A Week in Geekdom, where I talk about anime, comics, and manga. I just started doing my anime starter pack series of videos. Put out the first one the other day on adventure anime. And it's not like the list is not like, oh, these are the best ones. No, these are 5 series that I like and I want you to watch if you're new to anime that I think you'll like. That's sort of the premise on it. So I did 5 adventure anime. I also do videos on collected editions and manga, all that fun stuff. So yeah, subscribe if you can. Thank you everybody for watching. We will see you on the next one. And in regards to Omnibros, we will be back Sunday with Jess and his coffee sessions and shelfies and whatever they do on Sundays. So thank you everybody for tuning in. God bless.